Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar today. I appreciate your presence and I hope everyone's safe and keeping well. I'm Meenakshi Sundaram, one of the product marketers for Zoho Vault, and I'll be running you through today's session. So you can post your questions at any point in this webinar and keep the session interactive. And I'll be answering all your questions at the end of the session. So we'll be starting the session with a quick introduction to Zoho People Plus and talk a little bit about how Vault fits well in this bundle. We'll then inevitably talk about the surge in cyber attacks over the last few years and also see why passwords play a crucial role in keeping imminent attacks at bay. We'll then see how you can improve your business password security from day one with Zoho Vault's integration with People Plus, and then proceed to see how you can utilize some of other Zoho Vault features that are part of your People Plus bundle as well. And as mentioned, we'll have a dedicated Q&A session at the end. All right, let's get started. So here's a quick introduction to Zoho People Plus for all the new users on the session. So People Plus is a comprehensive suite that bundles 7 popular Zoho products to provide a unified HR platform for a seamless employee experience that you can get with People Plus. So from building great teams to empowering them and keeping them engaged, you can basically do it all with People Plus, and it's a must and it's a bundle that you must definitely try if you're an up and coming business. So here's the list of products you can access using your People Plus subscription, and along with that, I've just listed out the different plans that these bundles come with. So, for example, your People and Recruit offer the Enterprise Edition. Your Expense gives you the Standard Edition, Connect the Internal Network Edition. You get the free edition of Click, the Enterprise Edition of Sign, and finally, we'll be talking about Zoho Vault today, and Vault offers the standard edition with the People Plus bundle. Now, so Zoho Vault is a password management solution that helps individuals, teams, and enterprises manage their passwords safely and securely. But before we step into details, let's see why there's an increasing need for password managers in the world right now, and also see how Vault is actually a great fit to be a part of the People Plus bundle today. And before we do that, we just quickly take a look at why cyber threats need to be looked at very closely and seriously by businesses in the next slide. So we often tend to forget one major fact in life, which is that a lot of our data is now online and it's susceptible to potential cyber threats as well. I mean, with almost every individual working remotely as and when possible right now, we are now a lot more dependent on the online world than ever before, right? And a recent survey made by the Ponemon Institute states that about 58% of organizations use the cloud for sensitive or confidential data to either transfer or store data. And regardless of whether they're encrypted or not, these organizations use 58%. 58% of these organizations use the cloud for uh, transmitting and receiving data in their enterprises. And this number is only expected to rise as more businesses adopt cloud solutions with the ongoing pandemic in mind, right? So, yeah, with all that in mind, we are going to be a lot more dependent on the cloud services in the upcoming future. But is it really promising on a cybersecurity perspective? Not really, because 2019 saw a 33% increase in the total cyber attacks registered, and we're witnessing almost 7 million records get compromised on a daily basis right now. So as much as we move our data to cloud, they're also increasingly they're also increasingly getting exposed for potential cyber threats as well. And most importantly, it's not just the personal data that's under threat. Businesses have suffered heavily in the hands of cyber attacks as well. I mean, the average cost of a data breach in the US was stated to be around $8.19 million. And beyond just the financial impact that one can incur, the cyber attacks also cause damage to the brand's image and also breaks the trust factor that businesses so dearly value, right? So when you as a consumer stop having that trust factor with a particular brand that you can relate with, you no longer go and make a purchase with the said brand, right? So that's another key factor where businesses are falling short on. And also, it's not just large enterprises that get targeted. So if you see the statistics, it says that almost 20% of SMBs report to have report to have been a victim of at least one or more ransomware attacks alone. So this is just data for ransomware attacks. So you can imagine the amount of cyber attacks these SMBs that they're exposing themselves to. So yeah, so on the whole, cyber threats are a major cause for concern for any enterprise. There's a lot more things we've got to factor in with regards to cyber security as well, because 2020 has been a challenging year for every individual and enterprises. Because with the pandemic yet to die down, millions of people continue to work from home, and this has brought up really new challenges to deal with from a cyber security perspective. So for probably the first time ever, our personal lives and work lives have been so closely entangled, and this has given rise to more and more cyber threats as well. And here I've listed out four key points that were stated by Verizon in one of their recent uh, a data breach investigation reports that happened post the COVID-19 pandemic. And these are the 4 points that they highlight in their report, stating that these are things where enterprises should keenly uh, pay attention to. And let's just quickly touch upon these 4 points. So they've noted that there's been an increase in human errors, often resulting in data breaches lately. So the errors range from misconfiguration of security parameters on applications, misdelivery of authorized files and documents, and so on. So this is mainly down to the heavy workloads that people endure due to lack of resources, which is either due to furlough or sickness, and also a much higher reliance on new and unfamiliar solutions as more and more businesses move to the cloud, right? So there's also the family distraction factor as well. So all in all, human errors have significantly increased and are predicted to rise further as well. Now, there's also a massive 650% increase in the number of COVID related phishing mails. So, the report states that phishing emails with COVID terms had a higher median click rate than any other phishing email out there. So, these phishing mails can lead to potential ransomware attacks, and that's exactly what's been predicted by the researchers as well. So, of the 128 malware incidents analyzed in the report, it stated that about 34 of them were ransomware breaches, and they also predict this number to rise very soon. Finally, the most important section of the report talks about the exploitation of login credentials. So the report states that over 80% of the breaches within the hacking category have been caused by stolen or brute forced credentials. So they also go on to state that businesses are forced to lean on SaaS platforms more heavily than at any time since the advent of the internet. And substantially, this has widened the surface attack for bad actors looking for stolen and brute force credentials, which are an easy entry point to any business network, right? So this has been pointed out as one key area where businesses can definitely improve. So it's believed that on average, employees use up to 35 business critical applications at work, and some of them who work for large enterprises or who handle multiple tasks at their firm also handle up to 200 applications as well. So this number is quite staggering, right? And these numbers have actually risen by at least 25% with remote work being the new normal, according to recent reports as well. So businesses are also willing to adopt new applications to let their employees work just as efficiently from home when in comparison with the office setup. So that has resulted in businesses adopting a lot more uh, cloud applications as well. So this emotion is echoed well by many CFOs as well. 1 in 5 CFOs interviewed by Gartner state that they're willing to increase their spending budget on new cloud solutions, while more than 3 out of 5 CFOs state that they wouldn't cut down their spending on cloud solutions despite the financial barriers posed by COVID-19 as well. We just witnessed that 80% of a lot of data breaches have been the result of stolen or weak credentials getting exposed, right? There's a lot of concern with regards to password hygiene, right? So this is why there's been a higher need for password managers right now. And that's exactly why People Plus's integration with Zoho Vault comes handy as well, because Vault allows admins to enable a strong password policy to create strong and unique passwords for every employee added to the organization's Zoho People account. So let's just quickly see how this can be done, right? Because with this integration, you will be able to create strong password from the moment your employee joins your company right until the moment your employee leaves your organization as well. So we'll be discussing all about that in detail, but let's first see how you can set up this integration with Zoho Vault and help you generate strong passwords for all employees that you add onto your Zoho People profile. So yeah, so you can log into your People Plus account as an admin, then select settings. Under settings, you can click on Zoho from under integrations, and then you can click enable under Zoho Vault. So now you can set up a strong password policy for your organization. So basically a strong password policy would mean more constraints such as your mandatory symbols, numerals, multiple cases, and all other requirements, right? So you can go ahead and set up a strong password policy and click save when you're done. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you already have a Zoho Vault account, if you've already signed up with Zoho Vault using a People Plus account, that's pretty much it. If not, you'll just be asked to sign up with Zoho Vault by creating a single master passphrase. And once you're done creating the master password, you will be uh, free to go back to your Zoho People Plus console, from where you can select users, and from users you can go ahead and click add users directly or import users directly. These two options will allow you uh, to add new users to Zoho People account while also generating a strong password using Zoho Vault. So this is basically how the integration works. But this is just the first step towards business password safety, right? So you've added a new employee, you've given them the credentials which are safe and unique. Now, how else can you keep your business password safe? You've got probably a lot of passwords to safeguard. You've got a lot of passwords that are shared across your team as well. So, keeping all of this in mind, you get access to a lot of features, a lot of password management features with the Zoho Vault standard plan that's already part of your Zoho People Plus account. So let's see how you can get the best out of a password manager, right? So the best part about using a password manager like Vault is, is its simplicity. So users will no longer have to remember all their passwords, as they can easily safeguard them in one secure place. So all they would be required to remember is a single master password, and using that master password, they'll be able to access all their saved passwords from Vault efficiently. And this will allow your users to safely add and share passwords within your team, or even across different teams as well within your organization. Your users can also organize their passwords into different folders and manage passwords efficiently. Say, for example, you have a finance team in your company and you have a bunch of finance passwords. You can just add all these passwords under a single folder called finance, and you can share this folder with the entire team, and they would get access to all these passwords that you shared with them. And this is quite safe and a secure method as well, so you can definitely go ahead and try this out. And yeah, you can also simplify login to different websites and applications that you regularly use by using our browser extensions and mobile apps, because using the extension and apps, you can just simply click on auto login, and you would be able to automatically log in to a particular website and not have to manually type your credentials out in the login fields as well. So that's the beauty of a password manager. You would not require uh, crazy mental skills to remember a lot of passwords. You can just generate long and strong passwords and save them in your vault. And using the vault's capabilities, you can just autofill these passwords on different websites and applications and access them as and when you require. And doesn't stop right there. I mean, Vault also generates unique strong passwords for all new logins. So whenever you sign up for sign up on a new website, you can just use our browser extensions to generate a new strong password, and you can save them in your Vault as well. And uh, admins and super admins can also track and monitor every user's action in detail uh, with our real-time audits and other admin controls as well. All right, so here's a little info about a security architecture if you're trying to see how secure Zoho Vault is before trusting us with your sensitive data. So Zoho Vault follows the host-proof hosting concept, and this ensures that all confidential data get encrypted and decrypted on the client side with AES-256 encryption using the user's unique master password. So this master password is something that's unique to every user. So whenever a user signs up with Vault, they'll have to set up a master password, and this is known just to the user, and not even Zoho remembers or saves this master password anywhere on our servers. What this means is nobody except you can decrypt the data that you've stored in Zoho Vault. And all the encrypted data is securely transmitted over TLS and stored in Zoho servers. And we have multiple data centers across the globe to help comply with the privacy policies that are prevalent across different regions, right? For example, an EU user can sign up with Vault by accessing zoho.eu/vault, and if they sign up from that particular URL, they'll be able to ensure all their data gets saved only in the EU data centers. Similarly, you can choose a data center of your preference and accordingly keep your business compliant with the regional laws as well. And it's also important to note that Zoho Vault is GDPR compliant as well. Okay, so how do you access Vault? So we just saw how you can use the Zoho Vault integration with your People Plus account and generate strong passwords while adding new users to your Zoho People Plus account, right? So how do you access other benefits of Zoho Vault? Let's just quickly see them in the next few slides. So you can first log into your People Plus console and select Vault from services. And once you access Vault, you'll be asked to enter your master password to log in. If you haven't set up an account already, you'll be asked to create a new master password. And once you're done with that, you'll be taken to this console. And this is our old interface. We've now brought out a new interface. So you can click on try new interface from the top right corner of your screen, as I've highlighted here. And once you click on that, you'll be asked to validate your master password again. And once you're done with that, here this is what you would be accessing, because this is a new interface and you can access all your passwords and manage all your credentials from our new interface. So the new interface is right now on the beta version, but you can definitely go ahead and try it out and access a lot of cool new features as well, like your dashboard and other stuff that we'll be talking about very soon. So yeah, as mentioned earlier, you get access to a standard plan with your People Plus subscription, and this plan includes a bunch of cool features that you can explore. So basically, you can generate strong passwords for all your accounts, add unlimited passwords. There's no there's no restriction on the number of passwords you can save with Vault. You can also save unlimited documents in Vault as long as they are a maximum of 2 MB per file in size. You can also improve passwords. You can also improve the safety of all your passwords that you probably have stored in your browsers by importing them. We have an option to import all your passwords from browsers, text files, or even a third party password management solution if you're using some other solution as well. So you can do that, and you can also sync passwords across devices by accessing Vault using our browser extensions, mobile apps for iOS and Android, or even use our iPad app. And if you've got an Apple Watch, you can access your passwords right from your Apple Watch as well. Now, these extensions and apps can also help you autofill your passwords, like I earlier mentioned, and automatically log you into websites and applications. And you can also access these passwords offline using extension and apps as well. So let's say you are out somewhere where the network connectivity is quite poor. If you're carrying your passwords to a remote location, uh, and you expect there to be no proper internet connection, then you can just benefit from the offline access feature as well. And finally, yeah, if you wish to add additional security to your vault, which you should definitely do, you can add multi-factor authentication to your account and safeguard your vault with an additional layer of security as well. So yeah, that's a bunch of features you can access, easily access with Vault. So let's just quickly take a look at some of the advanced features that you get with Zoho Vault. So we also offer advanced features in the standard plan that's part of your People Plus subscription. And these features could definitely be beneficial for your organization. So let's take a quick look at some of these features, starting with our all new dashboard. So we recently introduced a security dashboard in our new update. So the dashboard's part of the new interface, and you cannot access this from the old interface. So you can discover valuable security insights of your personal and business passwords from the dashboard. You can switch between the personal and the team dashboard on your screen, and you can just access insights on your personal as well as team passwords from here. So if you feel your organization's password security scores are weak, you can take action by enforcing a strong password policy. Or if you want to identify the weak passwords in your personal account, you can just go to your my dashboard and click on weak under password assessment score, and you'll be seeing a list of all passwords that are weak. You can just instantly identify them and reset them so your passwords are strong and aren't subject to potential cyber threats. You can also customize the roles of your internal users. So Zoho Vault has three predefined roles, which are super admin, admin, and user, and they all have different user privileges, right? So you can upgrade your user's role and promote them to either an admin or super admin role. So an admin can help super admins as a moderator for critical activities in Zoho Vault, and a super admin has complete control of your Zoho Vault account and your organization's passwords as well. Yeah, you can explore this feature, and if you need an admin to moderate all the activities going on in your password vault, you can go ahead and promote a user with the role of an admin. Yeah, you can just switch between different roles as and when you require. Are also possible. I mean, password policies can also be set from your Zoho Vault interface as well. So admins can enforce a strong password policy for all passwords that are saved in your organization's vault from the settings tab. And from here, you can either enable one of our predefined password policies, or you can also create your own password policy, like how we've created one in the screenshot that you see on your screen. And when you enable master password policy function that you see on your screen, users will be forced to create a master password for their account, which is quite similar to the password policy demands that you've set in your Zoho Vault account. So starting from your master password, all passwords will be safe and secure when you enable this function. Now, while creating a new password policy, you can also set password validity reminders. These reminders will be useful if your security policy demands users to reset passwords on a regular basis, right? So, if your users are required to change their passwords every 45 days or 90 days, or if there are critical passwords that you would want your users to reset on a regular basis, you can go ahead and set the timeline within which passwords should be reset, and users would start receiving notifications from Vault prompting them to immediately reset the password as the deadline approaches, right? So they'll start getting notifications 3 days prior to the end of their password's validity. which is also a cool feature, right? So fine-grained controls is a feature that lets you do just that. Zoho Vault provides numerous features to make password management simple and secure for every enterprise. However, some users might not require access to all the features, right? So, to help better manage user privileges, Zoho Vault allows admins and super admins to restrict all the actions that your user might not require, or you can prevent your users from performing certain sensitive operations by revoking their access to certain features. For example, you can prevent specific users from storing personal passwords, accessing the mobile applications of Zoho Vault, or enabling IP restriction, and so on. Now, you can also track all sensitive operations carried out in your organization with audits. So, you can identify who performed which operation at what time with our real time audits, and you can view these audits on the different actions made on passwords, folders, users, and groups. And you can also view a bunch of miscellaneous audits, as well as super admins get the capability to view all the audit actions performed by admins in Zoho Vault as well. So there are a lot of key actions that you can track using our audits. Now you can also securely back up your Zoho Vault data to your email or cloud service like Amazon S3, Box, Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, Zoho Workdrive, and so on. So, an encrypted HTML file is always sent periodically to the users who configure data backup. And this encrypted HTML file that you receive can only be accessed using your master password. Which means even if someone gets access to these encrypted files somehow, they will be unable to decrypt them without your master password. Now, this is something that's an important feature related to user onboarding and offboarding, right? So, whenever someone leaves the organization on bad terms, or let's say someone leaves under unexpected circumstances, transfer of password ownership from their account can be a tricky thing, right? So, in such instances, the super admin of Zoho Vault always has privileges to forcefully acquire all enterprise passwords owned by a particular user from Vault. So, super admins can acquire passwords from the user tab under settings as shown in the screenshot. And these passwords can either be transferred to the super admin's account, or the super admin can actually transfer ownership to a corresponding colleague within the organization. So, this is very key because you should always ensure that all sensitive access to your accounts must only be handled by the authorized personnel within your team, right? So whenever somebody moves out, you got to ensure that all the passwords that they used to access are now handed over to the right personnel who's working in your team or your organization at that instant. So these are some of the important Zoho Vault features that you can benefit from. Now, there are a lot more attractive features that you can access with Vault's premium editions, and I'll be talking about a few features that might be of great help for your business. So, reports. Starting with reports, admins can get access to detailed pictorial insights on all the activities carried out by either a single user or the entire organization as a whole. So these reports help with keeping insider threats at bay, while also helping admins formulate security policies to improve the organization's overall password security. So these reports can also be exported as PDFs. So if you ever have to audit how your team's performing on the security front, you can do so as well. Then there's emergency access, which I believe should be a must-have feature for all enterprises. Here's how it works. Let's say a user with access to critical passwords is unavailable to share them with you. For example, they're on a vacation or they have some emergency at home. So the productivity of your entire enterprise could be affected because they're the only person who can access certain critical accounts, right? So in such cases, how do you let your business continue without any further delay? So this is where Vault plays a major role. Vault bails you out in such moments by allowing super admins to nominate themselves or either specific users as emergency contacts, and these emergency contacts can temporarily access all the enterprise passwords stored in Zoho Vault. Doesn't matter who owns them, as long as they are an enterprise or a business password saved in Vault, any super admin nominated emergency contact will have access to these passwords, and that's not on a permanent basis. These are on a temporary basis. So this is something that can give you an instant solution in such crisis moments. Then there's password access control. Now, many of your business critical activities can be carried out with the use of shared passwords, right? These passwords can be used by multiple employees on a regular basis without restriction, and this is something somewhere where people might tend to exploit or overuse the shared credential. So we highly recommend that you maintain an additional layer of security for such critical accounts, and you can ensure these passwords are accessed only for valid reasons with Zoho Vault by enforcing access control. For example, you could share the admin password of your server with multiple administrators in your company. And when you enable access control, users would require your approval to access these passwords. So, without your approval, no password, even if they are already shared, can get accessed by either personnel. So users will have to raise access requests with valid reasons to access passwords enforced with access control. Now you can validate the user's reasons for access, and depending on their reason stated there, you can either approve the request or go ahead and reject them as you wish. And if you feel overwhelmed with password management, and if majority of the apps you use support SAML based single sign on, then I have good news for you, because you can configure SSO with Zoho Vault as well. So this feature allows you and your users to instantly access all the daily applications that support SAML in your organization from directly from Vault. So you wouldn't have to set up individual accounts for users, or you wouldn't have your users set up their own accounts. And what this can help you with is it can prevent password fatigue in your organization, since the admin can set up one account and distribute the access to every single user in the organization. And you can also group your users into different teams and share passwords with the entire team in one go. And finally, yeah, you can also integrate your vault with third party solutions like Okta, OneLogin, your Active Directories, and other third party solutions. So yeah, that's a quick overview of some of Vault's premium features, and if you feel your organization would benefit from them, you can always get them as an add-on to your existing People Plus subscription. So if you want to know more about the details corresponding to that, you can always write an email to support@zohovault.com. We'll definitely get to your query at the earliest. So that's pretty much it from me today. If you have any questions, you can always write to support@zohovault.com. Or if you would like to connect with us over Twitter, you can always follow us and DM us on @Zoho Vault from Twitter. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll meet you very soon on another session in the upcoming months. Thank you.